figure that out when we get there. Okay. We are live. And okay. Whew. So, Chuck, first I'm going to give an update on existing litigation, lawsuits we're onboarding, and then we'll go to questions. So if anybody's got questions, drop it in the chat. The chat. It does speak clear. First, I'll talk about lawsuits challenging the USCIS hold. For those just tuning in that may not be aware, the Trump administration has suspended USCIS benefits for 39 countries plus Palestinian Authority through two memos, one on December 2nd, one on January 1st, USCIS memos. And Ready to Law is very involved with litigation challenging those USCIS memos holds. So here's my most recent tracking of 10. Oh my gosh, it's got to where the print's too small to read on the screen. These are 10 lawsuits that I know about that either have a motion for preliminary injunction or there's about to be one. I found out yesterday that these are not the only 10. Jennifer Nimmer in Ohio has her own little set of them also across the country, like 3 or 4 more. So if I don't know about those, there might be even more. So there might end up being 20, but these are the 10 that I'm aware of. And number 1 was the very first motion for preliminary injunction filed against the hold. And I will say that we were victorious with that on the 20th, which is last Friday. Yeah. So we have 5 of these 10 were our lawsuits. Let's skip. I think Jim Hacking's Doe, I think they're waiting on an order. They've already had a hearing. Charles Cuck is also, he has a hearing set for March 18th. And on Neza Maslami. And then let's talk about number 4. That's Saghafi. That's a 485 group. All they want is their green cards. All they want to do is adjust status. That was one that we filed in Maryland. And that says due 2/24, but we actually filed our PI reply last night. So it's fully briefed. And we are just waiting for Judge Russell to schedule a hearing or issue an order. He does not have to have a hearing on that PI motion. Okay, the next one is Baden. That's one you're working on, right, Chuck?
Yeah, we have the PI reply due today. I'm working on it right now.
And I bought my plane ticket because that hearing is on the 3rd, which I think is Tuesday. So I'm flying to San Jose. No, it's Wednesday. So I'm flying to San Jose on Tuesday night. Same judge, Judge Van Keelen, that gave us the order in the first case. So we have reasons to be optimistic. But as Chuck knows, the government made different arguments in this case. In the first case, they did not argue that most of our causes of action, that we were not likely to succeed. They thought that they'd put all their eggs in the basket of arguing the court doesn't have jurisdiction. So in this case, they've done a different approach, and they are saying that we are not likely to succeed on our causes of action. We'll see. Let me see here. We only need to win on one cause of action to to get a motion for preliminary injunction now. We only need the judge to be convinced that we are likely to win on one. So
also in the order last Friday, she already agreed with like all of like the first four, and then our government didn't argue the other four, so we win by default. Yeah.
She's a good judge, and the thing is, I'm not going to make any assumptions, though. Maybe could be persuaded by some of the government's arguments that they made in this case that they didn't make in another one. We'll see. Actually, after this call, Chuck, I can review what you've got so far and see if I have any thoughts. Okay, the next one, CM 629, is Rafi. This is the N400 case that's in Colorado, and tomorrow we will get the government's opposition to our PI, and then we'll start working on the reply. And then CM 619 is, oh, I just messed this up. Rafi is DC in 400s, and tomorrow we get the PI motion. I never asked this client how to say their name. AHUA. Who? You're scared. Everybody's always
either.
The worst that can happen is they get angry with you. So I want to guess who and apologize for getting it wrong. PI opposition is due on Friday. Wow. So we're going to have to do 2 replies coming up here. And then these 2 cases are not ours. These 3, 2 are in Florida. I'm guiding that attorney on some ideas from our case. And then the other one is in New Mexico. And I've emailed with that attorney a couple of times. Both good attorneys. I think all these attorneys here are looking out for their clients. And I'm hoping that everybody gets orders saying that the hold is unlawful. Okay. So while we're talking about the hold, I need to share something I shared for the first time yesterday. I have found out that the nonprofits that were planning on bringing a class action to challenge the lawfulness of this hold are no longer planning that at this time. They do have a PI motion in a case, I guess I should put this on this chart, called Doe in Massachusetts, that which is weird because Jim Hacking's case is called Doe. It's a different Doe. There's 2 Does in Massachusetts. This is a lawsuit that's been going on for a long time, but it turns out this policy impacts some of their plaintiffs in that case. So they do have a PI motion, but it's not a class action. It's just for the plaintiffs in that case. So if you were waiting on a class action, it's not coming right now. It's not on the horizon. My team is discussing whether or not we could do it. Right now, we don't have the capacity, but maybe it's something we could look forward to doing like in April or May or something like that. The problem with class actions is it's an extra layer of work. And it tends to be work that carries on for a longer period of time. Okay. I've talked about all these lawsuits, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and the 75 country lawsuit.
That's the next thing I need to talk about. I haven't made a pretty little chart for the 75 country lawsuit tracking. I wish somebody else would make charts for me. Here's the there are 2 cases challenging the 75 country pause. 3 if you count that adoption case, but that one got settled. So, I mean, it was the first win against the 75 country pause. The other 2 is the lawsuit that was filed called Clinic in the Southern District of New York. That was filed by some nonprofits, and they are seeking universal relief, but they're not doing a class action. So I think they're kind of pushing the envelope on universal injunctions, like maybe finding an exception for one. Maybe that's what they're they're going to do there. I don't know. The other lawsuit is our Story versus Trump lawsuit that we filed last Friday. We are still waiting on a judge assignment in that case. We have not yet filed our motion for preliminary injunction. I think the reason we don't have a judge assignment is there's a quirk in DC where if you file a complaint and it has a motion for pseudonym, it goes to the chief judge first to adjudicate that motion, which has already happened here. But then things don't move as fast as they would normally if there wasn't that motion. So I think that's the fluke that's happened here. We did have 2 clients that did have a motion for pseudonym in that case. It's a good thing to bring up because for all you DVs, we're going to file a DV case in DC also, and I suspect there'll be one plaintiff that wants a motion for pseudonym. As of now, no one's hired us for that, but I did send out a retainer agreement yesterday for somebody that's interested. We charge $1,000 extra for a pseudonym motion. Oh yeah, that's what this person's asking. What about the ongoing pause for 75 countries? It's ongoing. So we'll file the motion for preliminary injunction in the coming days, hopefully this week, Friday. And then we'll have a judge assignment. That'll be great. It'll be briefed over the next month, over the course of March. Maybe we'll have a hearing in April. I'm hopeful for that. Maybe we'll have a decision in May, and that will be wonderful. At this time, we are not onboarding a new 75 country lawsuit. We have an interest list on our website if you want to be notified when we do. Okay.
And the DV case.
And you, what DV case? What are you talking about? DV case?
Yeah, about our DV case. How is that going?
Yes, I know that there's a DV case. So many things going on. So we are onboarding a group lawsuit for DV 2026 selectees. 3 days left to sign up, 3 days and 8 hours to register. We have groups on Telegram and WhatsApp for Ask Me Anything, where actually other plaintiffs that have signed up are being extremely helpful, guiding their new co-plaintiffs with onboarding procedures and also like questions they had about the DV program that they didn't get answered other places. So that's good. I imagine you all want to know how many people have registered. Do you think people want to know that?
Also, we have some bets to settle.
Yeah, we do have some bets to settle. I need to find that paper because we betted on. Well, we don't want to settle them yet, but we did have some bets, and some people were very wrong in their bets. I'm moving this over to a Word document where we can look at it better. Oh, no, this will be fine. Okay. I forget how. Oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Here's 380 folks selectees that have registered to participate in this lawsuit, and they're from 64 different countries. And the top countries: Iran, Russia, Jordan, Egypt, Ukraine, Albania, Nepal, Turkey, Ethiopia, Kazakhstan, Taiwan, Azerbaijan, and then I didn't screenshot the other thing, but I'll keep going. Sri Lanka, Algeria, Armenia, Germany, Kazakhstan, Poland, Romania, Saudi Arabia. You're typing too loud. You're typing too loud.
Oh, okay.
Saudi Arabia. You could do mute. Thailand, Cambodia, Cameroon, Morocco, United Kingdom, I want to check something. United Kingdom has 3 participants. United Kingdom selectees should like me already because it is our lawsuit that is the reason they were selected. The State Department forgot to select UK selectees until we sued them. Okay, Congo, Democratic Republic, France, Indonesia, Italy, North Macedonia, Serbia, South Africa, Spain, Argentina, Australia, Austria, Bahamas, Chile. Oh my gosh. Cyprus, Georgia, Ghana, Hungary, Iraq, Kenya, Kuwait, Malaysia, Mongolia, Netherlands, New Zealand, Peru, Somalia. So those are the countries from which we have people who have registered to participate in the lawsuit. Okay. So what else do we need to talk about?
Well, yeah, unless you want to talk about the news from yesterday.
Oh no, the State of the Union. Did you watch the State of the Union?
No.
So there are some people in the Telegram group that watch the State of the Union that were saying, "Oh, I'm optimistic now because Trump talks about, I don't know, doing things legal way or something." And I'm like, "What?" Like, there's people that believe that he's going to start being nice to legal immigrants, and I don't think that's going to happen. Could be wrong.
Well, that's their talking point. They say they are pro legal immigrants, but they just cut down all legal program, everything.
Yeah.
So they are making legal immigrants so difficult and takes very long time. So
yeah, at this point, I think I probably represent like 3,000 legal immigrants that are suing him. So why would they be suing him if he was doing things, if he was allowing them to do the right things the right way? I think he's not. Okay. I expected more questions today. What is going on? We got some crickets. I think it's holiday, right? Ramadan. Chinese New Year's over, right?
Yeah, they go back to work back in China.
Can't talk about the Year of the Horse anymore.
It is. So this year is it's not only the year of horse, it's also the year of fire horse, and it's it occurs every 60 years. Last time the fire horse came was during the civil rights movement, so we got to be hopeful.
Yeah, that's maybe a good sign. That's good. It's good. Well, hey, listen, there's no reason why we need to hang out here if everybody else is out celebrating or enjoying themselves. So we could get back in our email and get our work done. Actually, Chuck, I could talk to you about this reply that we're working on, right? So we're going to end today's live early. There will not be a live next week because I will be traveling. I'll be traveling back from San Jose on Wednesday. There's people sad that we're in. If you didn't ask questions, there's nothing for us to talk about anymore. Okay, but we'll be back the second week of March, so I'll see you then. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.